right, so this is kind of a complicated situation, but the gist of it is that there are 4 steps that we need to complete in country to adopt our daughter. The first one is the big one, is going to the court system there and actually adopting her. At that point, once that's completed, she comes into our care, she's our daughter, we get to be a family together. Step 2 and 3 are just kind of getting some documentation lined up, and that's getting her birth certificate into our name and her passport. And then the 4th step is with the U.S. Embassy in Liberia, and that is getting her a visa and an exit permit. And when we complete that, we're able to take that documentation and are able to leave the country and come to the United States with her. And so we cannot do that until we have step number 4. And step number 4 is the one that we cannot complete currently due to COVID restrictions on the U.S. Embassy. And so we're going over there knowing that the 4th step at this point cannot be completed because of COVID restrictions, but we know that we can adopt her and start being a family together. And so we're very excited about that.
So we started having this conversation in August. Corey came to me and just said, when will enough be enough? When are we just going to decide it doesn't matter anymore, we're just gonna go, we're gonna be a family, even if we can't bring her home, or when will we be at that point? And I just felt very strongly that I wanted her with us for Christmas. I didn't want her to spend another Christmas without a family. Many of you may remember praying last year that we would be able to bring her home for Christmas. Christmas is such a special time for our family for many reasons, but we just felt very strongly that for Christmas we wanted to be together.
Part of our kind of thought process with this was, over a year ago we were matched with our daughter. And at that point, we had committed to providing a family for her and being that family for her. And so we really take that very seriously. And having that commitment to her, we're treating her as if she was already our child. And so if she's our child, and if you can imagine your child being an ocean away from you, she's being cared for and loved, but she doesn't have a family. And so we said, whatever it takes, we're committing to being her family. And so we're gonna go bring family to her, and why wouldn't we cross the ocean to be able to be with her? And another thing is that right now she's 2.5 years old, and these are very formative years for children early on, and we just didn't want her to continue just spending more time without a family. For a long time now, we've been looking forward to meeting her. We haven't met her yet. We've gotten pictures and stuff, but we've been really excited to meet her. And now we know that there's a date very, very soon that's coming that we get to meet her. And so we have tickets to travel. We're going to be leaving December 11th, and so then we know that a couple of days after that we get to meet her. And so we're very excited about that. Obviously, with moving our 2 other young boys with us, there's definitely some fears that have crept in and stuff like that. But if we were to kind of tell you how we're feeling right now about it, it's mostly just very excited. There's a lot of logistics that we have to figure out, and there's a lot to do between now and December 11th, but we're going to be scrappy about it and walking through them and doing our best to line things up well.
Yeah, like Corey said, there's obviously a lot of fears and unknowns. For me personally, I was found myself weighing the risks of taking the boys along with us, and what could happen. And the more and more we talked about it and we prayed about it and thought about it, I felt so excited about the idea of not just bringing pictures back and stories back to tell our boys about her life and about her heritage and her culture and things that make her who she is, but actually having them there and experiencing it and learning it with her, and in the midst of all of it, appreciating her for who she is and where she comes from and valuing that about her.
So even more than just taking them along, there is a real chance that we'll just be able to also live in that culture for a while. And so we talked about not knowing when we're coming back. So we're going December 11th, and there is a possibility that it only could be a couple weeks. and our agency has said it could happen that we're there, we're knocking on doors, we're asking for an appointment with the U.S. Embassy, and we're just saying, hey, we're here, we have our daughter, the only thing we need is for you to give us an appointment. And so maybe they'll give us one, maybe they'll budge. There also is a chance that could not help us in any way, and we might still be just waiting until COVID clears up. And so that's kind of the reason why we don't know exactly when we're coming back. We're praying that it won't be too long, but if that's what God has for us, then we're definitely willing to walk through that.
Yeah. We know that you might have questions, and so we want to make sure that you feel free to ask any questions that you might have for us. But we also want to leave you with 3 big prayer requests that we have. The first being health and safety of us as we travel and while we're there, both for our boys, for us, but also for our daughter while we're there, that we would just all stay safe and healthy. Secondly, that you would pray for the hearts and minds and the decision making in the embassy, that we would be able to be granted an appointment sooner rather than later. And lastly, for the 4 weeks to come, there's a lot that has to be done before we leave, and so that you could pray that would just go smoothly and it would all get done.
We're going to Africa.
Going to Africa.